Hey everybody, it is Wednesday, November 9th, 2022, the day after Election Day. The day after the midterm elections that we've heard so much about over the last 2 years. And now what must happen is we have to start talking about what's 2 years from now, 2024, and see what's going to happen then. Hope your candidates did what you wanted them to. I was pretty happy with my selections. Let's not talk politics. Today is 52 weeks of Dishcloths, and we're on week 45. 45. I'm in a different place here. I'm in a different corner of my craft room because I was just working on trying to organize my fabrics. Found a whole bunch of Christmas, but I know I have a box of Christmas, and I have a bunch of stuff that I'm just not. This stuff kind of goes together. Well, no, not each of them, but I've got little piles of things that that's what I'm working on, organizing my fabric, just because I'm in between projects, and I shouldn't be in between projects, because on Sunday it's my quilting day, all day quilting, sit and sew in Cumberland, and I have to have a project ready to go. Not that I don't have a lot of projects started around me. I have to select one, get the machine I'm going to bring, and get it all set up and start sewing on it a little bit so I'm familiar with it, so that Sunday when I get there, zoom, I'll just be sewing. And Saturday is going to be a busy day for me too, so I want to get this squared away earlier. I'm trying to work on projects that are out there a little earlier, so I'm not always, scrambling at the last minute. I always used to be so ahead of the game, and since I've retired, I'm like, just about get it done under the wire. Saturday, I'm taking my grandson to see A Christmas Carol at Trinity Repertory. He used to love to come to the theater with me. We had such great times. We saw different shows, and he was so excited and loved to go. But when I told him that I had tickets for Saturday, because I had him with me yesterday on Election Day, because there's no school, and he said, "Oh, I don't know, I'd rather go with Mommy." I said, "Why?" I'm shy. And so then when my daughter came, I said, "I don't think he's going to come with me. He says he'd rather go with you. I'll give you my tickets." She said, "No way, I'm not going to the theater with him." She just doesn't want to go to the theater because it's closed quarters and masks and everything. But after our visit, after we had spent time together and did a couple of projects, he said, "Well, maybe I'll go." I said, "Well, you better tell me, because if I invite someone else and you change your mind, I'm not telling the other person that they can't come. You're out. You're out." So, as a matter of fact, I just came back from picking him up from school because it was early dismissal today. And his mother had a doctor's appointment in Providence at 1, so she couldn't get him at 2. So we had this really crazy thing going on where she got out of her appointment probably at 1:30, but I get in line to pick him up at 1:30 because they get out at like 10 minutes to 2, and there's buses and cars. And so anyway, I'm in line. She calls me. She goes, "I'm just getting out of the appointment." I said, "Okay, well, I will pick him up." And I was either depending on if she got to town or if she just was going to go across town in Providence, because his doctor's in Providence too. So it turned out I didn't have much of an assignment today. I just picked him up, and she was able to park in the office building parking lot across the street in time for me to just drive him over, sanitize his hands, give him his cupcake, because I always bring him a cupcake when I pick him up, and get him into his mother's car. And they had to shoot back to Providence because his appointment was for 2:40. It was about 2:05. Well, I don't know. I don't know what it's like going into Providence at that time of day. But I'll tell you one thing. I planned on going shopping right now, food shopping, and maybe Dollar Tree, because I need some little odds and ends things, little plastic things, But the traffic I experienced all around the school, and then further just trying to I said, to heck with it. I was going to go get gas. I didn't even go get gas. It's a beautiful day out. It's not the first of the month, it's the beginning of the month, so it's maybe people are going out and getting bills paid and buying food. I said, to heck with it. Nothing's pressing for me. I'm going home. And then I thought of it and I said, I didn't do my video. It's Wednesday. So I quit this project, that's what I'd been working on this morning, and got my my dishcloth for this week. Now, there's a little story about this. There's a little story because I was watching the Crafty Toads last week because they were starting a pattern. They used this pattern. They were making a blanket with their winter collection of fabric of yarns, and they used tin can knits, Starflower. That's what it looks like. It's a real pretty medallion, a nice shape, a lace. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a hexagon. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, it's a hexagon, and her colors aren't these, but they're similar, and they'll look really nice together in this type of a blanket. So I said, hey, the light bulb went off and said, I could buy that pattern and save it, because if I ever wanted to make a blanket, it's pretty nice lace design. But I could make just one out of cotton and make a dishcloth. So that's what I did. And here it is in white, off-white, in natural. And here's what it looks like. So I think it's great. I just love it. Now, the one thing that knitters, quilters, everybody into making things is supposed to do is not point out their errors. Well, I started this dishcloth on 4 double-pointed needles. And there was something about the drawer of the wooden needles and the cotton yarn that Oliver could not help himself multiple times. He hunted this thing down. He took it out of bags. He took it off high tables. I restarted this thing, if not twice. What's the saying? If not once, 100 times? No, not 100 times. I don't know. I restarted this thing about 5 times, and it's only a dishcloth. But I kept getting mixed up because the rounds are different. And I learned a new cast on. It's called a pinpoint cast on, where you can use a crochet hook, and you crochet these stitches onto your knitting needle, sorta, and the way you leave the loop, it pulls it really, really tight, even tighter than, well, I could have probably pulled it tighter, because in the example, I saw a YouTube example on it, and it really, you could see no hole. But I thought dishcloth, we always like a little bit of lacy stuff. So anyway, I made multiple mistakes in this. I took it apart a lot of times to fix them, but for the most part, when I had, it was getting closer to the end of the weekend, and I wanted to finish this so that I'd be able to show it for Wednesday. So you see, it's a star shape here, and then a bigger star shape here, and then a hexagon here, and this reminds me of a starfish a little bit. And it's really easy. It really is. You just have to mark your rows. You know, watch what you do. Oh, it's not that. It's not. Oh, I can't show you. There's a chart. Chart makes it real easy. So, but I'll tell you what. Pro tip. Not that I'm a pro, but having made it, you can start it off on double points, but the sooner you can get it onto like a 16-inch circular, or perhaps if you want to do it in, you could start it on a circular needle and do it magic loop. It's a lot easier to maneuver your stitches, because you break up, oh, I should have known it was a hexagon, because you break up your stitches. You have 3 needles, and you have 2 sections on each needle, and those keep growing. So, dude, I'm saying 6. I should have known it was a hexagon. But I like it very much. But yeah, I was saying, like, right here I ran into some difficulty. But in the end, unless you point these things out, you knitters and quilters that always point out your mistakes, we're not supposed to do it. The reason I'm talking about it is because I want to let you know that even if you do, you don't have to really worry. First of all, because it's dishcloth, and second of all, that was an error. This was the error. Something funky happened on one of those areas, and but for the most part, it looks good. It looks right. My next one's going to come out perfect, but I wanted to get this one in the books, so to say. So as they say. Okay, so that's the dishcloth for this week. We had the New England Fiber Fest this last weekend, and some of us went. Some of the espresso knitters, we met up there, and I rode up with one member, and we met the other members there, and we had some fun, and we had some lunch, and we were sitting in public and eating in public, and we did it without, for the most part, without masks, because it was big, it was spread out. There were a lot of vendors, but I don't know if it was set up differently or if there were just wider spaces, but it was nice and it didn't feel like you had to put a mask on. You know, sometimes you're at a place and you go, where's my mask? Because you know you want to put it on. So that was nice on Saturday. I think I said Sunday. We went up there Saturday. It runs Saturday and Sunday. It was fun. It was really fun. And so this week's kind of a quiet week for me. I'm trying to catch up, figure out what the holiday plans are going to be, clean my house, clean my rooms. All my things need to be straightened out and cleaned. I don't even have all the lights on in here again. But anyway, this is what I'm working on, straightening out my fabric and looking for a project to pick up for Sunday's quilting day. So, we're being blessed with very beautiful weather here in New England, so I hope you're all taking advantage of it and getting out there, even if it's to sit outside for 10 minutes in the sunshine, because that gives you some vitamin D. I think it takes 10 minutes to gain some vitamin D from sitting outdoors. So, take advantage of this weather, because we know the cold is coming, and for those of you that may be on the other side of the country, or the other side of the planet, your weather is very different than New England, and that's all I'm going to speak to. So that's that. Have a great day, a great week, and maybe go make a dishcloth, right? Right. See you next time. Bye now.